Welcome to the next episode of Scared Shitless. My name is Semajuste, and I am your host of this podcast where we talk to individuals who have gone through so many things, but they have the courage to keep going and they have lessons that they can teach us, and hopefully we can learn from them. Today, we have a very special guest, which is my very own husband, Lenard Semajuste. So, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm excited for this conversation today because I know we can learn so much from him. Leonard has a background in athletics and also now a career in the government and now a real estate investor. Is there anything else that I missed? How you would like to be introduced?
I think you covered all the bases.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I just want to have like a conversation with you just about kind of like your path in general from an athletic background and that transition to the government. And then I don't want to say it's like necessarily 100% transition to real estate yet, but it's definitely something very different than the government.
Yes.
So from your background in, as a football player, as a person who played at a very high level of football, what was that transition like from that athletic background to the government?
It was quite difficult because I wasn't ready for it.
Okay.
And it kind of caught me by surprise because I suffered an injury. I was literally at the beginning of my professional career. So at least in my head, I thought I had maybe another at least 4 or 5 years, if not longer, to play in the league. Maybe use the CFL as a stepping stone to maybe potentially go to the NFL. And then it was stripped from me like right away.
Okay.
And so I had to pivot. I had to adjust. It was very difficult. I don't think I was depressed, but I was probably close to depression at that time. It was a really low point in my life. But then once I came back home, because back then I was in Winnipeg for training camp. When I came back home, I just started applying for jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you feel that helped you in that transition?
I think just to support my family, right? Like obviously they were there for me. I was still living at home at that point. I just graduated university, and so my thing was okay. Like I felt sorry for myself maybe for a little bit, probably a couple of months, and then after that I was like, okay, like well, like I need to do something, So I applied for a couple of jobs and was able to get a job actually very quickly because I came back in July and then started working in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think having support in these transitions was probably the most important thing for
Absolutely.
you?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because if you're by yourself, like who knows what kind of things go through your mind. Now it's not like I was openly like sharing my feelings with my parents by any means, but just the fact that they were there, the fact that at the end of the day, I had I had a roof over my head, I had food on the table,
Right.
Like I was like healthy per se as far as except for the knee injury, I was very healthy, and so I really had no complaints really. So it's all about just kind of like, okay, this is a little down, a little obstacle or a little challenge that I had to kind of get over, and then just moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from that transition, obviously, it takes time. I think even if you're now, okay, at the government, in the back of your mind, were you ever thinking maybe I should have continued, maybe I should go back? What was that like? Or were you just like, okay, that's behind me and let me just go forward?
Yeah, like I definitely questioned it a couple of times, only because, now, mind you, it was, even though it was a knee injury, it was kind of it was still like a minor knee injury. That being said, like I would still have had to gone through surgery in order to come back. But like I guess for me, it was one of those things where it's like I was in no like when I had to reflect, when I was reflecting on it over again, like once I kind of like accepted the fact that my football career was done. I definitely asked myself, like, was this a test for me to see how much I really wanted it, and to go through the surgery and basically rehab and come back stronger, hopefully, and then keep pursuing. So there's definitely those questions came into my mind after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, obviously the questions are there, but you just decide to just move forward. Is that?
That's exactly it. And then for me, it was kind of like a timing thing. Like, even though like I was still relatively young, I consider myself a little older because most of my other friends now this was me comparing myself to like to my peers. They were already like two years into their career, and I was just starting mine.
Okay.
So for me, I was like, as much as I want to chase this football dream, nothing's guaranteed.
Right.
And then so I made the decision to, like, you know what, let's kind of like hang the cleats up and then start this corporate career.
Okay. So now you're in your corporate career.
Hmm.
Along the way, you meet me,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And obviously, we get married. Um, and I, the following question is kind of thinking of, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about like our real estate in a second,
Okay. Hmm.
but I want to ask you, we got married and there's definitely a period that you're dating and then you'd make the decision to get married.
Hmm.
Is there anything that you feel that as a man you need to know about a future wife, or steps that you need to take in order to know that, okay, this is the right person that I'm choosing, not just from, personality, but in terms of financial stability in the future?
Hmm.
If you're thinking of your finances, is there something that you as a man want to know about your future wife beforehand?
Well, that's a loaded question. So like when you're dating, it's almost like an interview process, right?
Right.
So it's like you're going back and forth, and obviously you're getting to know each other. So there's a thing where it's like there's initial chemistry, there's an initial bond, and then we had a really good friendship, like just from the start. So obviously you build on that. Then as things get kind of more serious, then you kind of take it a step further as far as kind of like almost kind of like digging into the person's, like, well, you see how the person lives,
Right.
right? At that point when we met, like, I already had my house,
Right.
or I already owned my house, and then I was how many years into my career? Like at least 10 years in my career,
Okay.
right? Or yeah, close to that. And so yeah, so that being said, like, I see how you move. We're really big on family, so seeing your interaction with your family, like both immediate um, um, and your extended family as well. You just slowly take these, like my father always said, like, you want to indirectly test the person, and I didn't really, I didn't really follow that like to a T, but there's definitely certain things where it's like, let me see how she'll handle like this situation or that situation. But more so, the main thing that he taught me was that, like, uh, you have all these great qualities that you look for in a woman, especially someone that you plan on marrying. So don't necessarily focus on those. Like, just ensure that she has them,
Right.
but then kind of focus on the negative
Okay.
qualities,
How so?
only because that, just put in your head that those negative qualities, can you live with them? Because
I see.
because most likely you won't be able to change her or change those qualities,
Right.
right? So you need to be at peace with the fact that, like, you may hope that she may change, or you may hope that she may improve on those qualities, but know that, most likely, like, unless it's on her accord that she wants to change those qualities, then you'll have to live with that.
Okay. Financially, is there certain things that you were looking for?
Just just actually, one thing that really impressed me, and then was definitely like a good sign, is the fact that you budget,
Okay.
right? So, someone that actually budgets their expenses and whatnot. That was very key because I do the same thing as well.
Right.
And then it turns out that you actually do it for, like, at a more detail. You're definitely more detailed than I am when it comes to that. which is very impressive. And then just you can kind of pick up on some small things when you go out with someone. Like you can see like if they have expensive tastes or not. You can see if they overspend.
Right.
You can see how responsible they are with money. So you catch on to those things very quickly, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and those things are very important, especially when it comes to someone that is eventually is going to be your partner in life, and you want someone that is able to at least have some type of like self discipline and maybe have a little bit of delayed gratification as far as not necessarily yearning to have the latest iPhone
Right.
or the fanciest cars or making sure that they have all the nice furnishing in the house. Like just being able to manage their money and expectation and obviously live within their means.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good one because I think also it's not just for a wife, it's also for a husband.
Mhm.
Um, if I'm choosing a husband, then I want to make sure that, you're not driving a Ferrari. Meanwhile, you can't afford XYZ. You have no
Exactly.
food in your fridge,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
you can't pay your mortgage or your rent and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely good advice. So yeah, so you and I, we get married,
Yeah.
and a few years after that, we decide to start investing in real estate.
Yes.
One property after another, which turns to another. Do you feel like there was a lesson learned in your transition from football to your corporate career
Mhm.
that you took with you when you were transitioning to real estate investing?
I was coming from football. Like you really learn to the value of having a coach,
Right.
right? Someone that has the expertise and is able to not only guide you but kind of like push you to your full potential. And then the team aspect as well. We all know when it comes to business in general, you're only as good as your team.
Right.
And knowing that, like I know like I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'm okay with that. But if I can surround myself with people that are smarter than me, then we can definitely achieve a lot of things together.
Okay.
Mhm.
So do you feel like, because I know we've had a lot of coaching of real estate, we've paid many coaches
Mhm.
in order to learn what we have learned. Do you feel like that's probably one of the factors that have contributed to the success that we've had so far?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
most definitely. And not only that too, like um, I'm open to even have more coaching because I feel like we have so much more to learn.
100%.
Because eventually whatever your ceiling is becomes your floor as you keep growing, as you keep discovering different strategies and different niches and whatnot, and um, being able to continue to invest in yourself in that growth and development is very important.
Okay. Oftentimes, you probably get people sliding in your DMs asking you questions about real estate,
Mhm.
and so do I. And I think any person who's in real estate and who are taking action, there's other people that are curious as to how they do it. And I know we've both had that in the past.
Mhm.
So I just want to ask you, and one of the things is that a lot of people think that if you are in real estate, you have a lot of money,
Yes.
right? Which is, you and I know that is not the case,
Yeah.
right? We had humble beginnings. Yes, we come from good families, and we had decent jobs,
Yeah.
and budgeting was helpful so that
Yeah.
you can save, and maybe that can go towards your first investment.
Yeah.
So if you were just starting out and you had, I'm going to ask you $1,000, 10,000, and $100,000,
Okay.
and would you do differently in every single case? So, for example, if you wanted to get into real estate and you only have $1,000 saved,
Mhm.
what is the first strategy, or what is the first thing you would do in order to get you to either more money or to your first property?
If I only had $1,000, I would really look into volunteering, finding someone that you admire, someone that you believe that could be a good mentor, and then volunteer whatever services that you have. Um, if you have an accounting background, if you're good with property management, like if you go with paperwork or admin, like whatever it may be, offer those services to that expert for free, and then just work for them. Yeah, and learn from them. So that, like, if I only had $1,000, I would definitely do that, and then also kind of look into wholesaling, because that's one of those strategies where you don't need that much money to begin with. Now, it is kind of challenging, because then when it comes to putting some deposits on some offers, you may need to scramble a little bit more, but depending on how you negotiate these, how you put together these deals, you can really put, like, actually just that you use that $1,000 and kind of like recycle it.
Yeah, and I mean, to what you just said, we tied a property that we were buying for $760,000,
Mhm.
and we tied it up for $2,000.
Exactly.
So it was because we had built that trust with the seller.
Mhm.
So it is possible.
Absolutely.
Not it, it's not the norm,
Yeah.
but it is possible. And I like what you said about, volunteering, because if you have no money, you need to have some kind of resource that you can use to gain knowledge.
Exactly.
And probably that's time. Hopefully that's time.
If you don't have the money, then you have lots of time on your hands.
Yeah, you should.
You should,
I mean,
at
it's
least.
not always the case.
Yeah, exactly.
But utilize that or make time
Yes.
in order to use that resource.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you had $10,000 and you want to start in real estate, what would you do?
So 10,000, I'll probably kind of almost do the same thing, but I'll only tack on maybe paying for some coaching.
Okay.
Because there are some, like, kind of like introductory or kind of beginner programs that you can do. Yeah, and then you're still at that stage where you want to learn, you want to develop. Continue to go on Google, to do YouTube videos.
Yes, YouTube, yes.
But I can't stress enough, like, you really want, and like, that's one thing that we've tried to do in the past, is really connect ourselves with people that we see that we admire, and we see that the lifestyle that they live, and something that's in line with our values as well. Right. And then to want to be part of that kind of like the ecosystem.
Okay.
Mhm.
So $10,000, try to get some coaching.
Yeah.
Some affordable, and use your time as well to learn on your own.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your pockets are deep. You have $100,000, but you don't really know how to invest in real estate. Do you go and buy a single family home? Do you go and partner with like, what would you do if you had $100,000 and you don't have any properties?
Yeah. So if I had $100,000, like, looking back now, like, it comes down to your knowledge, because you can blow that $100,000 very quickly.
Sure.
So if you don't know what you're doing, it comes down to education. So it's surrounding yourselves with good people, learning from good people, and I would. It's funny, because, like, I would probably be a little bit more hesitant if I had $100,000 to take action.
Okay, because you don't want to lose it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And maybe that's just fear.
Okay.
Right. But at the same time, it's like, to amass that amount of money, that it could easily go down for down payment. But one thing you could do too is, so we live in Ottawa, as maybe your audience knows.
Yes.
But so Ottawa is quite expensive. If you happen to live in Toronto, Montreal, that can be very expensive as well. Is you look at these secondary or tertiary markets,
Yes.
where your money goes a little further. So after getting the coaching, doing your research, and developing and gaining that knowledge, I would definitely start there, as far as, like, looking into these smaller markets to see your money go a little further.
Yes, I agree, because even in Ottawa, it is very hard nowadays to have anything cash flow unless you're buying multifamilies.
Yeah.
And $100,000 ain't gonna get you a multifamily
Not in
by
Ottawa.
itself,
Yeah.
right? So you're right. We have invested in Cornwall, and there are still more affordable housing, multifamilies that I'm not sure you could buy with $100,000, but a lot closer.
Yeah, exactly.
than what it is in Ottawa. Okay.
Well, at least back like I don't know about now, but
Yes,
right?
I know, right?
Yeah,
I think we got in, a little bit before the boom.
exactly.
So we were lucky that way. And now, you're still working at the government,
Hmm.
and you have a real estate portfolio, and and now you're starting to help other men. In what capacity that you want to help other men? In their, is it financially? Is it, I know you're launching a business.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So I'm launching this business called All In, which is like a discipline program, and the main purpose for that is to basically hold people accountable. At the end of the day, um, integrity is probably like one of the biggest values that you can like encompass and embody. Because if you keep the promises you made to yourself, you will go a long way. You'll there's no doubt you'll be very successful. The problem is that we tend to break the promises we made to ourselves. But when someone holds you accountable, then you tend to follow through, because there's oh, you know what, Leonard's gonna be calling me, he's gonna be checking in on me, so like I need to at least be productive and actually follow through on what I said I was gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there certain pillars that you kind of you're trying to help them in? Is there certain aspects of their life specifically? I know you have the athletic background, so is that part of it?
Absolutely. So I have three pillars, all like not on purpose, but just ironically, also with the letter F. So there's faith, and faith comes down to there is kind of like a spiritual and religious aspect to it, but there's mainly has to do with the mindset.
Okay.
Like you need to have the confidence, and then be able to make the decision and simply believe that you can accomplish what you set out to accomplish.
Right.
So there needs to be a mindset shift. I feel that a lot of people they want to achieve certain things, and a lot of times they just make a lot of excuses.
Right.
And just to kind of like change your vocabulary, change your mindset, and then believe that you can accomplish whatever you set out to accomplish.
Okay.
So that's faith, and then there's fitness, as you alluded to. So me having a football background, I've definitely learned a lot of stuff when it comes to staying in shape, being able to know my body, read my body, and then also on the nutrition side as well. I'm not a nutritionist by any means, but like I know how to stay lean and how to avoid certain temptations. And when it comes to food, it really comes down to consistency. If you eat whole foods and you stay away from the sugars, and sugars, not only the sugary foods or processed foods, but also the sugary drinks. Right there, you're like leaps and bounds, and also knowing that you can't outwork a bad diet.
Right.
Right. So like knowing that your diet compromises around like 70 to 80% of your total body composition. You are what you eat. And then there's a fitness aspect. I've learned a lot of stuff along the way, so like I could definitely like bring value to someone wanting to aspire with, like, whether it's losing weight or gaining weight. I've done both. And then the last pillar is friendship, which basically iron sharpens iron. And so like I'm big on building lasting relationships, and then ensuring that not only are these relationships very tight, but we also contribute to the community as well.
Right.
So there's going to be some aspects that I want to do some volunteer work and some community service as well to give back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that within that group, correct me if I'm wrong, just the friendship that you build is creating a community.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Exactly.
I think a lot of times that we think community has to be like, I don't know, like at an arena or like at a sports center, or volunteering with the youth, and it can just be within the community of men that you build, and one kind of looks out for one another.
Yes, exactly. Hold each other accountable, whatnot, and to a higher standard.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see it develop. I know it has already started, so I'm proud of you for
Thank
launching
you.
it and doing that. And now that we've together, I think we've done quite a bit,
Yeah.
within the 10 years that
Mhm.
we've been married, and now we have two little ones.
Mhm.
So I want to ask you, the model that you are showing your kids on a daily basis, do you feel like you are the father that you set out to be when you wanted to be a father?
Hmm. That's hard to answer only because I believe I started on the right foot, and I'm definitely on the right path. But I haven't actualized. Like I'm still developing. I'm still growing. I think we're always growing, right? So it's one of those things where it's like there's always that constant learning, that constant growth. So I can't say that I'm exactly where I want to be, but this is a really good start. I think it's important that our children have both their parents being very loving and supportive and like active in their day to day. We've made some sacrifices to make them priority in our lives. Some people know our backstory as far as us having kids, and the fact that we got on the way we did, like at least for me, I appreciate it so much more. And it's definitely like my family is my priority. And so like knowing that, I believe that I'm definitely on the right track, and we both had great role models to live by. And I think the only challenge is going to be navigating in this so-called thing called life, because the society we live in is kind of crazy. Having to deal with social media, with bullying, with like people having challenges when it comes to their own like identity, right? Not to go down like the rabbit hole, but like it's crazy, and like and one fact that's kind of unsettling is the fact like we can do all the right things within these four walls, but once they go outside, um, we can just hope that what we've instilled and poured into our children, they are able to kind of like fly in their own on their own, remember the values and the principles that we taught them, and actually apply them once they're outside of our home.
Yeah, and like you said, like our son just started JK,
Yeah.
and every day I'm grateful for the time that we have to going to school and coming from school, because we're walking and we're chatting, and it doesn't feel like I'm interrogating him. I'm just kind of like having a casual conversation. And so far I'm proud of him, the way that he conducts himself. He is only 4 years old.
Yes, exactly.
But at the same time, like if somebody's doing something to him and we tell him like with his words to
express
be firm,
himself,
to
yeah.
express himself, and sometimes we will ask him, what did you do? And he'll say like, I told him not to do it,
Yeah.
with like conviction. And you're right, like we don't know if that's exactly what he said
Yeah.
or how he handled the situation, but we're hoping it's kind of, from what he's telling us, it's close to what we've been teaching him,
Exactly.
which is a great thing.
Yeah.
So far. It's
So
only
far.
been 3 weeks.
It's only been 3 weeks. Yeah.
Last question, and you can answer it as you please. 10 years ago, or 12 years ago now, I think, your father passed away.
Yes.
And if he were alive today, knowing all the obstacles you've been through, knowing all the challenges that we're going through in terms of real estate and everything that you've gone through, even through sports and stuff like that, what do you think he would think of you today?
Well, before my father passed, once I bought this house, just the sheer joy, um um and he was so proud of this accomplishment, right? Especially, I guess, because I was able to do it before a certain age or a certain time, or the fact that I was actually like very responsible. So like I'm so glad that I got to witness that. And my father was he never he was never shy to express himself and to say that either he loved me or that he was proud of me. And that's something that I really appreciate, because I don't have those regrets of like, well, my father never this type, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that being said, I miss him dearly, and I wish that he was here, obviously, especially to get to know you better, and then to meet his grandkids. Because just seeing how my mom and how your mom is with like with these kids, like I can only imagine how over the moon he'd be with these kids. And like, especially, well, we kind of see the personality with Stormy, but like especially with Lion, him and my dad would have been like two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Because they're both social, they're both chatterboxes. Well, Lion when he's in the mood for it, of course. But I think, yeah, I think he would learn a lot from my father. Just that daily conversation, because it's different than what my mom brings. My mom brings more of a nurturing aspect to it. But my father he was very social and personable, and he knew a lot about everything.
Right.
So just it'd be good to just be like a fly on a roll and just watching them interact and have a good dialogue. That would be nice.
Yeah, kind of interact with your legacy, with your
Exactly.
kind of seeing what he's instilling in you, pour into
Exactly.
her child. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with
No
us.
problem.
Well, with that being said, if you would like to reach out to Lenard and get to know him a little bit better, we only scratched the surface. I don't even think we scratched the surface at all. I just asked him a few questions here and there. But if you want to get to know him a little bit more, how can they reach you actually?
Well, they can reach me on 20.more on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook
under Lenard Semajuste.
And then I should be launching my website shortly for my program, so stay tuned.
Yeah, so look out for All In. That will be the program that you'll be launching.
Exactly, yes.
So thank you for listening or watching this episode. I really appreciate any viewers who listen to what we have to say. And again, if you want to reach out to Lenard and get to know him a little bit more, please do so. And thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you on the next one.